I did over $270,000 of GCI last year in real estate. I work with one of the biggest brokerages, which is Compass. It's actually fairly hard to get in. You need to be doing at least 100,000 in GCI. You need to know 3 people in the company. You need to do multiple interviews. And when I got in, I'm not supposed to say this, but it's been a while now. So they literally gave me a marketing budget of $27,000 or $24,000, I forget. And then they give me a cash sign-on bonus for $17,000. And it's because I was a high-producing agent. I've also helped a lot of real estate agents make more money in the business. I've helped real estate agents get virtual assistants for their business, to do cold calling and admin work and schedule their calendar. Some of the stuff I've accomplished has allowed me to get on Yahoo Finance, Market Watch, Investors Observer, Morningstar. I bought my dream car, as you can see right here. I've traveled the world and seen volcanoes and waterfalls and cool animals and all that stuff. I don't say that to impress you, but to impress upon you that if you're on this video and you're looking to be successful as a real estate agent, if you have the mental capacity and the discipline to sit here and watch the entire video, you're gonna be really happy with the stuff that you learn here, because I'm not gonna tell you nonsense like all these other real estate agents where they say, go on the MLS, find the best team and interview the best teams. No, okay? If you wanna go find a really good team to work on, guess what? They're not gonna choose a beginner to work with, someone who's a low producing agent. That's not how it works. They recruit people that actually have really good numbers. The stuff I'm gonna tell you in this video is not what the average agent that's doing well will tell you. I've been able to actually finagle my way into certain rooms and get myself certain listings and stuff. I don't wanna call them tricks, but like, I don't know, just being clever, right? And some of the stuff I'm gonna tell you here is a result of my cleverness, if you could say. And I wanna share some of that stuff with you. I wanna give you a unique approach to how you can accelerate the growth as a real estate agent. See results quickly without having to bend over backwards and work 100 hours a week, okay? That's not what I want for you. If you stay until the end, I'm gonna give you a keyword. That keyword, you can comment it down below, and I'm gonna give you free stuff like free scripts and free links and things like that, free resources. So make sure you stay until the end. Make sure you have a pen and paper, sit down, get ready to hear some really, really valuable stuff. All right, so let's jump into it. First things first, being a real estate agent is not easy. Being a business owner is not easy. The difference between this business versus a lot of other businesses, and by the way, yes, you do have your own business. Yes, you're a 1099 contractor, whatever, but you technically have your own business. The difference between this business and a lot of other business models is that everybody and their mother is getting their real estate license. What does that mean for you? You have tremendous competition, so you have to stand out in some way, shape, or form. You can't be like all these other real estate agents. Being a real estate agent is getting more and more difficult. Guys like Ryan Serhant that are teaching, or guys like Brandon Mulrennan that's super popular on YouTube, he's been in the game for definitely north of 10 years. I think it's been like 15 plus years. These are guys that got started when it was a little bit easier. Not to take anything away from them, because they're obviously doing tremendous work. They know what they're talking about. But for someone that's getting started now, right? Maybe you have a little bit of production going on right now. Maybe you're generating some numbers, or maybe you're a brand new beginner. For people like you, without anything to really show to prospective sellers, it's gonna be a little bit harder to get ahead. So let me tell you exactly what to do. If I had to go back and start from absolute scratch, my first year as a real estate agent, I think I did like $12,000. I think the photo I could put right here somewhere. I did $12,000 in my first year. If I had to go back with what I know now though, I would have most certainly done well over 6 figures in my first year. So first things first, get with a boutique brokerage that has a really strong name and foundation and do a lot of sales, and they have lots of leads, or join a good team that has a decent amount of sales. I'm not saying go to the freaking top brokerages and the top teams, because it's gonna be really hard to get in with them. They're gonna wanna see proof that you've actually done numbers, and that might not be the case for you right now. But go to teams that have done pretty good, okay? Or a boutique firm that's done pretty good. The reason why you wanna do this, right? And this is the mistake I made when I first got started, is because it's better to get 10% of $1 million, right? That's 6 figures, than to get 100% of nothing. It's cool to have your own thing and be your own boss, whatever. But in the beginning, it's not that cool. When you're making no money and you can't pay your bills, it's not cool. Just because you join a team or you join some boutique firm doesn't mean you gotta stay with them forever. Learn from them, leverage their credibility when you're actually talking to prospective sellers or prospective buyers, or even landlords that you're looking to rent properties for. Leverage that team's credibility or that firm's credibility. Me being at Compass most definitely gave me a leg up over other agents at other firms, because Compass is known as a luxury brokerage. It's well known. Compass is also the #1 brokerage in terms of sales volume for I think the last 2 years. You get where I'm going with this. Join a team that actually has credibility. Second thing, get put on other agents' listings, even if they pay you absolutely nothing. Put your ego to the side. Don't worry about a paycheck for once. Focus on building credibility, building up your name. I've actually done this before. Me being put on other people's listings allowed me to show future prospective sellers listings that I had in my name. Even though I didn't make any money from it, they don't know that. This is one thing that I hear nobody talking about. Literally, I've watched so many videos like this video I'm making right now. I've seen nobody talk about this. I see a lot of people talk about, oh, go to open houses to try to pick up buyers. Like, dude, you're not picking up other people's buyers from these listings. Like, yeah, maybe once in a blue moon, but I would rather not pick up buyers from these listings, but I'd rather have my name on the listing. Because now, if I do that 5 times over, and I do that, 5 times within 2 months, I have 5 listings in my name within 2 months. I'd rather have that than have a buyer. You see what I mean? Although you're not making any money, you have this behind your name. And do the showings. And if that agent is willing to let you take buyers as well, even better. So now you can have listings under your name and you can have buyers that you're working with. And I know there's a bunch of nonsense going on with like the buyers and things like that and the settlement that happened earlier this year. But as far as I know, people are still working with buyers. I'm going to be focusing more so on sellers in this video though. What is the trade-off for being put on somebody else's listing? What are you going to be giving them? Well, you'll do their open houses. Even if you only do a few open houses, it's still in your name. And then when it closes, your name's still on it. You could just tell them, hey, you don't have to pay me anything. Second thing, you have to do prospecting every single day. If you want to be a real estate agent that's successful, but you don't want to do prospecting, you might as well just stop being a real estate agent. Turn in your license. Don't waste any more time, because if you're not willing to do prospecting, you're pretty much telling yourself you want to have an extremely slow process in growing and hitting that 6-figure mark. Instead of it taking 1 year, you want it to take 5 years, 6 years, 7 years. I talk to agents now that they've been in real estate for like 4 years and they're still doing like 50 to 60K a year. I don't want you to be like that. Do prospecting. What do I mean by prospecting? I'm sure you guys have heard of expired listings, FSBO listings. Maybe you've heard of absentee owners and a bunch of others. My personal favorite is absentee owners because nobody else is calling them. They're actually really welcoming on the phone. For some strange reason, nobody's calling absentee owners. I've gotten a lot of listings and made a lot of money from absentee owners. If you had to ask me though, like what's the lowest hanging fruit, like the quickest listings that get put up as quickly as possible and people are eager to sell, obviously that's going to be like expired listings and FSBOs. I personally use batch leads. I've made 2 videos about batch leads now. You can look in my previous videos. I'm also going to probably put those links down in the description. But batch leads is similar to PropStream in that you can search properties in your area that are absentee owners. By the way, I don't think I've explained this. Absentee owner basically means the owner of the home doesn't actually live in the property, which means they're either a landlord or they have family living in it, or it's just literally vacant. Those people are more likely to sell. You can find absentee owners on batch leads. Batch leads is about $99 a month, same price as PropStream. And I pull all of my lists from batch leads. Now you want to get a dialer, okay? You can either call from your phone, your cell phone, and call number after number, or you can get a dialer. A lot of people talk about Mojo Dialer. Maybe you've heard of Batch Dialer or Ready Mode or Call Tools. I personally like Go High Level the best. Go High Level just recently made some updates where you can put multiple phone numbers per contact, and this changed the game entirely. Batch Dialer charges about $139 a month. Mojo for their single line dialer charges $99, and then I think it's like $120 for the triple line dialer. Ready Mode is like over $100. Call Tools I think is like $120 as well. They're all like within the $120, $130 range. Go High Level is $97 a month. And by the way, if you use my affiliate link, I'll give you all my automations and my automated dialers and things like that you can actually plug in. Even the funnels, the websites, you'll be able to plug into your business. I'll give all those to you if you sign up for the 14-day free trial using my affiliate link down in the description. But not only is it a dialer, but it also has funnels, text automations, email automations, ringless voicemail automations, which is one of my favorites. I could drop voicemails into people's voicemail box without actually having to call them. And I could send this to thousands of people at once. You also have calendar management. You can connect your Google or Outlook calendar. You can also send invoices. You could build out courses on it if you want. But there's just a ridiculous amount of things that you can do on this platform that it's literally an absolute no-brainer. Not only is it cheaper than all these other dialers, but it has significantly more. So instead of you getting Wistia or Squarespace or ClickFunnels to build out your website, you could build the website right on Go High Level. Instead of using ActiveCampaign or Drip for your email marketing, you could use Go High Level. Instead of needing to use like Google Voice for your work phone or using like Follow Up Boss, you could use Go High Level. Instead of needing to use Mojo or Call Tools or Batch Dialer, you could use Go High Level. Do you get what I'm saying? Does it make sense to you now? $97 a month. It's insane. So I would go on Batch Leads. I would pull lists of absentee owners, FSBOs, expired listings. And by the way, quick, crazy side tip that I wasn't planning on actually telling you guys, but I'm going to do it just because you've gone through the video this far. Download expired listings from during COVID. Around 2020 to 2021, any listings, early 2021, any listings that have expired during that time, call those listings. Those are really hot listings. Those guys, I promise you, if they didn't sell in 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023, there's a pretty good chance they'll sell in 2024 and maybe 2025, depending on when you're watching this. I wasn't going to tell you that, but thank me later. So I would get myself a list of at least 500 leads to start, okay? And I would just go crazy. I would go to town on 500 leads. I would spend an hour a day on absentee owners because there's just an endless supply of listings. And then I would spend an hour a day on expireds and FSBOs. There's only so many expireds that come on the market every single day. Same thing with FSBOs. But with expireds, you can go back and do backdated expired listings. So that'll probably take up more time. So I'd say like 40 minutes on the expireds and then 20 minutes on the FSBOs. If you had to just choose one list though, if you just really want to go all in on just one, I personally like to diversify. But if I had to choose one, as a beginner, I would go for absentee owners because they're a little bit more welcoming. They're not trying to get you off the phone really fast. Expireds and FSBOs, they get so many calls, the recent ones I mean, that they're just so ready to push you off the phone phone, they're usually angry, and it's really hard to push through and actually have a conversation with them. Is it possible? Of course, people do it all the time and they get listings all the time. But if you're asking me as a beginner, if you had to choose one, which I don't recommend just choosing one, but if you had to, I'd say absentee owners. I'm gonna do you guys a massive favor. I'm gonna tell you the keyword at the end of this video. I'm gonna give you an absentee owner script, an expired script, and a FSBO script. Once you comment the keyword down below at the end of this video, I will give you those. Not just some regular Joe Schmo script. This is scripts I've actually used and refined over time, not only with me calling, but also with virtual assistants that I've hired, making 500 calls every single day. And we just refined and refined and refined on a day-to-day basis, just getting better and better. And I've turned it into immaculate scripts. That's what I'll be giving you. So every day you should be spending at least 2 hours on prospecting. If you're not doing like a lot of open houses, if you're not going out and doing a lot of showings and things like that, I would double that, okay? Obviously, the more that you do, the more listings you're gonna get. With this dialer, ideally you should be making at the very least 100 calls per day, at the very, very least. And that's 100 contacts I really mean, not just like actual calls. I like to call every single phone number for every single contact, because when you go ahead and get the numbers for these listings, there's gonna be multiple phone numbers. I like to call all of those phone numbers when I'm making my calls. So 100 calls really looks like about 300. Sounds insane, I know, trust me, but it's not. It's gonna be as simple as uploading these lists onto Go High Level, opening up a contact, call the first number, call the second number, call the third, move on to the next contact. Call the first number, call the second, call the third, move on to the next contact. If you're wondering how I get the phone numbers for these property owners, you're not gonna get that from batch leads, by the way, just by downloading these lists. You actually need to do what's called skip tracing. I've talked all about that in another video that I posted, which I will be linking in the description or be putting at the end of this video, but I'm not gonna dive too deep into that. You need to learn about skip tracing. You could do skip tracing either on batch leads, or you could do it with a plug that I have, which is significantly cheaper. Yes, it's gonna cost a little bit of money to skip trace, 15 cents on batch leads, 6 cents with the contact that I have, but this is exactly what I would do to jumpstart and get to $100,000 in my first year. I didn't want to get too overly complex in this video. I wanted to give you the general framework and how I would do it, exactly where to go, where to get the listings, how many times to call them, and things like that. To work out the math for you, if you're doing 100 calls a day, 5 days a week, that's 500 calls per week. You should be able to get at the very least 2 listing appointments per week. On the higher end, 5 listing appointments per week. Okay, so 2 to 5 listing appointments per week. I'm also going to include my pitch deck, my listing presentation. If you comment the keyword at the end of this video, I'll include that as well and show you what I used to actually print out and bring on my listing presentations. And if you want to learn more about a listing presentation, that's for an entirely different video. Rule of thumb though, you should be starting off with, if your typical commission percentage in your area is 6%, you should do 5%. If your typical commission percentage is 5 in your area, do 4. Just decrease it by 1%, maybe even 1.5%, because as a beginner, you need to try to get a leg up over other people. You don't have that much credibility. You're leveraging your companies. If they're going to go with you, that's a different story. If they're going to go and do the listing presentations with you, then they'll have the confidence to say a higher percentage. But if it's just you and you want to make the commission entirely to yourself, as a beginner, you have a lot of things you're going to need to figure out while doing this. I would recommend decreasing by 1%, maybe 1.5%, because everyone else that's pitching them is giving them a higher percentage. And then once you've built up credibility, like you get more listings in your name and you've actually done real sales, then you could start to say with confidence the actual average commission percentage of your area or even more. During these listing presentations, you want to be open, bubbly, happy, personable, shake their hand with confidence, give them a tight grip, sit down, treat it like a real business meeting, and put your best foot forward. Okay, I will be making another video on listing presentations, but this is the most surefire way to expedite your process to $100,000 for the first year in real estate, or in your next year in real estate, depending on if you've been doing this for a while. I'm super excited for you. The key word, now that you've gotten to the end of this video, the key word is riches. I'll be sending you the affiliate link for Go High Level, the link for batch leads, my listing presentation, my 3 scripts. And for anybody that stayed this long, if you want to learn a little bit more from me, I do have a school community with 8 courses that goes over how to hire virtual assistants for $5 an hour overseas, how to run advertisements, how to build out funnels, how to set up text, email, ringless voicemail automations, how to build websites, how to track your KPIs. And I also have a weekly coaching call every single week on Wednesday that you can hop on and ask me questions directly in a video call. That link is going to be in there as well. It's also going to be in the description. It's only $37 a month right now. We will be increasing our price once we hit a certain amount of members. So get it now while you still can get it for $37. You can cancel anytime that you want, very, very easily. But these are courses that I literally charged over $1,500 for in the past. And getting access to me, I've charged over $3,000 for that. Sometimes upwards of $10,000 to get access to me. So obviously $37 a month is a tremendous deal. Definitely get it if that's something you're interested in. If you have any questions, comment them down below. Make it worth it for me to make more videos like this. Show me that you want me to make more of this content. Even if you have nothing to say, just comment something. Comment multiple times. Boost this video, like the video. If you want to see more videos like this, make sure you subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.